everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Young Leaders Club podcast. Today I am joined with Charlotte Steele. Hello.
Hello. Thank you very much.
Finally booked in for an episode. We've been trying to get this episode out for ages, so I'm very looking forward to our conversation today. We're going to look at unlocking leadership potential.
Okay.
I feel like I can pick your brain a lot on this.
That's good, yep.
And also joined with a fellow podcaster now, so we can dive into your podcast a little bit.
Officially gone into the stratosphere of podcasting.
Yes,
It's great.
honestly, every man and a dog has got a podcast, but we love it. So I want to talk to you a little bit about your story to begin with,
Yep.
and then we'll dive into the whole world of leadership and
Okay.
talk about your TED Talk and everything that the young leaders of today want to know about. So let's start with where you started out, the very beginning of your career versus where you are now. Tell me all of it.
Well, I dropped out of school. So that's
Did
when my
you?
career started. Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
So,
okay.
I followed the parents' instructions of going on and doing your A-levels and things like that.
Yeah.
Because my grades, don't know how I did it, but they were fantastic in school. Came out like with, pretty much all A's and a couple of B's and C's and stuff. So my parents were like, right, you need to do sixth form and you need to go on to university, blah, blah, blah. Went into sixth form, and 3 months into it, I was just like, I hate this.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm a confined, caged bird, and I just want to just spread my wings and just do my own thing.
What did you do at sixth form? What did you study?
I did psychology, sociology, and business, I think it was.
Okay. Quite academic subjects then.
Like they were quite heavy. Like the psychology one, it was fascinating, but it was like, oh God, this is just.
Yeah.
I don't belong here. Like I'm done now with the academic side of life. I was 16 at the
You're
time.
16, I'm done.
I'm ready to retire.
Yeah.
So I crudely packed up my bags one day. I think it was actually in the middle of a psychology lesson, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm done. And went back home, said to my parents, I've gone. I've quit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what the hell are you going to do? It's like, just chill, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to just be a bum, it's fine.
Yeah.
I want to go into finance. So I found a job at a financial advising company in Wolverhampton. And that was like build a thick skin stage. That was very young, very impressionable, going in thinking that I was pretty big bollocks, whatever people say. But I was like, oh my God, the corporate world is fierce, and like this is tough. But I picked up quite a lot of skills, that there were various things that really interested me. But then I tried to do the exams, and because I'd had the break from all that side of like academic and all that stuff, I was just like, I can't do this.
It's really hard to get back into
It's
it.
really, really difficult, like once you've had that break. And I was like, right, I enjoy the finance side, and I enjoy the process side. I just don't see myself as being a desktop consultant for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I was having a conversation with my friend. He was actually at the dog racing one evening, and I said, I want to do something creative. I want to do something that doesn't keep me confined in a particular place, and I want to do something, maybe marketing.
Yeah.
And he said, well, timing's good, because we've got a marketing position, and it was a truck company based in West Bromwich. And that was such a fantastic business to work for, the local, it's Kel Truck. And I worked my way up the ranks quite quickly in that role. So I ended up found my feet in the marketing department, and that was split. So I was looking after more like the creative side, and I ended up being the chairman's secretary as well. So it was like I was headhunted internally to do that kind of stuff as well.
Oh, wow.
So I was exposed at the forefront to the big bosses.
Yeah.
So the big boy, I mean, like Kel Truck within the West Midlands, and now nationally all across the UK. They are big players.
Yeah.
And I was very fortunate enough to work side by side with the chairman. He was the original founder, and what a leader he was. Like, he knew exactly what needed to be done. He was humble by his own values and his own upbringing. So like there was no wastage when it came to his finances.
Yeah.
But you were exposed to this environment. It was like, oh my God, people can achieve great things when they have the right strategy, the right team of people behind them, and they're focused on what it is that they want to achieve.
Yeah.
So that became almost, it was a very palpable environment to work in, but it was addictive, because you're like, well, if he can do it, and if he's showing everybody else how to do it, then all you need to do is study exactly what he's doing, study the people that he's got around him as his support network, and the directors that were formed part of that team, they were called the A-team, and they worked so well together, and it was such a wonderful experience to work there.
How old were you by this point when you started to feel a bit like, oh, you know, he's setting a really good example here, and you'd gone to that marketing side, you'd worked your way up to being his sort of PA.
Yeah.
So what age is this now?
I was 18. And
wow.
I was with them until I was 21. And the reason why I left, which, you know, it wasn't an easy decision to make. I was gutted. I cried when I handed my notice in there. I chose to leave because I'd bought my own house, and I couldn't afford the demands of what it was to own your own house. It was only me that was living there, and I had £70 disposable income.
That's crazy. I mean, it's mad that you've been really great to be in that position.
Yeah.
You know, if you look back to when you dropped out your A levels, to then being 21 and owning your own house. I mean, I know you only have £70 disposable income, but that's a great position to be in. Do you know what I mean? Especially to be that high up in that role already.
It was such a. The timing of that job was perfect, and I want to use that as an example of how important it is to not burn bridges, because my manager at that job, his wife is now my business partner.
Oh,
so we built this friendship over that's now lasted for 17 years, like we were talking about the other day. And I would never have met Sandra had I have never taken that job at Keltruck, and it was just such a blessing that we found each other, and we're now on this wonderful journey of evergreen coaching together.
Well, you never know who you are coming across. You never know who you're going to be working with, and how they then play into your work life in the future as well.
Absolutely.
So you left there, you handed your notice in, then where did you go?
I went over to Mercedes then.
Okay.
So I went to a competitor. So the manager at the top is like, "Oh, you devil, you devil!"
You devil.
They were so supportive. They were brilliant. I mean, and then working at Mercedes, you are exposed to a very corporate environment, very brand focused. But I was like, this is good. This is really good experience, and the development programs that they had and the marketing programs that they had were fantastic. I mean that in itself, the value that was behind all that education was fantastic. Yeah. But then Mercedes is a very big beast to work within, and I was like, okay, there's no room for personality here. So I moved away from Mercedes and worked for a marketing agency. So that was in Leamington Spa. So my wings took me further afield then, and I worked for a marketing agency who gave me an automotive client, and their budget was massive. It was such a huge responsibility. Radio, direct mail campaigns, email campaigns, social media, websites, TV adverts.
Loads to get stuck into then with that.
It was a fantastic beast to be like, okay, so my day-to-day experience is not going to be linear. Every day is going to have its own thing to solve, challenges or demands from the client. I really enjoyed that job. And then I had my children, so went off on maternity leave. And whilst I was on maternity leave, I was like, do you know what, I've got all this experience now. Yeah. I've worked what I would class alongside of some of the greats, and I've worked with so many different people up until this point. Yeah. It's always been in my heart of hearts to do my own thing. I now want to bring this to life. Timing was insane, really, because the kids were just babies, but it was, a time where I could focus on building something whilst they were in bed, and okay, let's accept that you're on a hamster wheel, and let's just keep the wheel moving on building something. And then a few years later, I was married at that point, and I decided to leave my husband, like now ex-husband. So the business had started, and I had a fantastic bank of clients. Like they were brilliant to work alongside. And reality kicked in. Oh my God, this is a lot to deal with. This is, although it's a decision that I've made, there's still a lot here to deal with. So I had to have the awkward conversation with the clients and effectively sack them.
Oh gosh.
Because I couldn't give them the service that they had signed up for, that they were paying for. It just wasn't fair. It wasn't fair on them at all. So, awkward conversation, I'm really sorry. I've just got to temporarily close what I'm doing. Yeah. Really sorry, but it is what it is. I need to focus on me and my kids and just hide under a hole for a little bit to recover. And in that process, my version of hiding under a hole was joining forces with a friend of mine who came round mine for a girls' lasagna evening, and she shared that her husband wanted to start his own business but didn't know where to start. And I was like, oh God, this is a bit of me. Yeah. So I was like, right, okay, let's eat our grub and find a day where I can come round and I can sit with both of you, because it was a joint venture. Yeah. I'll sit with you, listen to everything you want to start building, take it from ideation stage and help you get there. And although it was something where they were like, okay, just come round for a couple of hours, just show us a bit of office admin and just explain a few things like to do with the compliance side and like the marketing side, and then we should be good to go. I never left.
Oh my goodness.
I never ever left. So they started their business in the back of their garage. Yeah. That was in 2017 now. And they built that business to an absolute gargantuan beast in the small time frame. They've done so well. And I was with them as part of their senior leadership team for 6 years. So this temporary, I need to just step back and hide away in a hole. That was one of the greatest experiences of my entire life up until this point. Like, what a chapter that was, because we had a very small team. And by the time I left, it was a team of 60 people, and they were turning over £4 million at that point.
Oh my goodness.
And they're serving clients nationally. Yeah. And we had, oh God, so many milestones that were achieved together, so many challenges that we faced. You know, we all face those sleepless nights that small business owners go through and big business owners go through. But the teachings of that chapter were incredible, but my time came to an end because I'd done all that I could do, and I was actually in the way. So my area of responsibility, which was governance, finance, marketing, like the inner workings of the business and like the processes and things like that, the demand was so vast that I was actually causing a bottleneck. So my department had to be disbanded and grown, but because I felt in my heart I've done all that I can, it's now time for me to take a step back, make waves for somebody else, or a team of people, which ended up happening, step into my shoes and to continue that growth of the business, because I at that point was like, I need to get back out now into fulfilling my purpose, helping aspiring entrepreneurs and small business owners like start and grow their businesses, and that is an itch that it's there.
And it's never gone.
It's part of me. It's part of my DNA.
Yeah, but mad that you were going through that personal time, and I see myself in that a lot, because I don't know how to just switch off. Yeah, I am happiest when I am working or working towards something. Do you know what I mean? It's you can feel like I need that downtime, and I need to just sit back, take time for myself. But hang on a minute, what if I just started doing this
and start tinkering?
And then you think, actually, no, this is my way of relaxing. It's starting something else. So
crazy. It's wonderful if you've got that mindset, and if that's part of who you are, then you'll always have a sense of fulfillment. Like the students and the clients that I work with, they've got this wonderful dream, but they feel stuck. You know, whatever the reason for feeling stuck is, you know, it could be fear, it could be feeling that they've got, you know, a small bout of imposter syndrome, like, oh, I'm not quite ready, don't feel that you know, who am I to do this right now, blah, 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 blah. Or your head's just so full of so many different ideas. Okay, so I've got all these wonderful things going on. Which one do I focus on first?
Yeah, I want to do all of them, all at the same time.
How do I bring them to life? So that's you know, where a lot of the impact for me personally comes from, because when you can go, whoa, hang on, let's just rein you in, let's get clarity on what it is that you want to do, where is your purpose, and let's steer you into focus on this one particular thing. Everything else can just be there, it's fine, but you can't do all of those things all at once. You've got to focus on doing one thing well first. Everything else can just wait until you're ready.
And this is where the leadership role is starting to come in, and obviously you are a business coach helping entrepreneurs start and build thriving businesses. Is that a lot of your work with young people?
It's mixed. Okay. So the work with young people, so the student aspect, so we're associated with Birmingham and Aston University, so their enterprise programs that they offer to their students. We partner with the university to form part of those enterprise programs, so we'll deliver workshops to a wonderful room of students that are, you know, there's 30, 40 of them at a time. And we can help to support them en masse in that environment to go, right, okay, this is, if you're thinking about doing this, then that's fine, but you know, let's steer you into doing things in this way. And also work with the local Chamber of Commerce, so we partner with them, and again we deliver enterprise programs for them, targets a younger audience, and also, you know, people who are more established in life, shall we say. It's
mad because I think to work for yourself is so encouraged to young people, you know, and older people as well. But there is so much that I can imagine goes into it that you are left thinking, well, how on earth am I even meant to start this up there? How where do I even start with this? Because like what you said, even just your roles that you took in your friend's company over the lasagna, you know, you were overseeing the marketing, the finance side of it, and that's just the core work of any business really. So I can imagine that for young people starting, need services like this, you know, because how are you meant to know when you're a newcomer to it?
Well, do you know what where the magic is with what I do? And I'm not just saying, oh, look at me, like come work with me. I mean, like coaching as a whole. It's the support that you're providing for somebody or a group of people. Because if you can provide knowledge, expertise, and you can apply that with care, empathy, and, you know, tangible experience of, right, I've gone through this, I know exactly what to do with this, you need to be aware of this, this is what you do to either solve that particular pain point, or if you follow these steps or this particular framework, you'll get there quicker. So it'll remove the stress, it'll remove, you know, potentially wasted money, wasted time. So if you can find, you know, a coach, a consultant, a mentor, just somebody who can be there that you can lean on, and you can either spout different ideas, or, you know, they can help you to formulate whatever it is that clarity needs. It's worth its weight in gold.
Absolutely. And at the Young Leaders Club, obviously, we're a programme designed for 18 to 35-year-olds who are, you know, maybe looking at going into a different career. They've already gone and done a degree and maybe had a career in another avenue, and they're looking to start somewhere else. You know, we're the place that are trying to champion, you know, have a mentor, have someone to speak to, have someone who's going to be there to guide you, who you can message all your random questions to. Because, you know, not even everyone in your family or your close friend group might even know, you know, so it's good to have that place where people can come and be partnered with someone and be around surrounding people who are all doing the same sort of thing. But let's look into leadership. So you were appointed tech head of finance at a tech company after working with them as a client.
Yes.
So what company is this?
So that I'm still with that business.
Still with them?
Yeah. So the setup of that is that technically they're my client, but I'm based in their office 2 to 3 days a week. And they are based in Tamworth. They're an IT support company. Anything IT related, you know, they're there to help.
Yeah.
And the reason why I accepted that position when they asked me if I was interested is because the team were fantastic. You know, you've got to, if you're working for yourself, you know, that in itself comes with, you know, dreams and goals that you need to fulfill for yourself.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to steer you down a different path, you've got to make sure that everything is still aligned and still ticks those boxes for you. Because if they weren't as good of a team as what they are, the answer would have been a polite no, thank you. But when they asked, I was like, oh God, what a compliment that is. That's really good. And yes, I'm all in because I believe in your vision. You know, your service packages are fantastic. You know, the output that they deliver to their clients is fantastic. And the team are an absolute joy.
Oh, that's great though. But great to be working with them as a client, and then they're like, actually, we want you on board as well.
Yeah.
But what do you think helped you stand out to land that role with them?
Oh God.
Some
really
qualities
hard.
that they probably looked at in you and thought, actually, we want Charlotte, rather than, you know, putting it out as a job advertisement to whoever.
I think the experience that I have had up until this point, you know, because there's a lot there. There's a lot of different avenues that have been explored and championed, if you like.
Yeah.
So there's a value that comes with that from having that prior experience. And I think as business owners, if you very, very protective, and quite rightly as you should be, over this wonderful baby that you've created, anybody who then is introduced into the mix, they've got to be the right fit. And I got on really well with the team there. I care about what I'm doing. You know, that they've shared their vision and what their mission is, and I believe them. So if everything can just resonate with one another, and they see that, oh, this girl is happy to share what that vision is and be part of the journey, then maybe that. I've never asked them actually. Maybe I should. It's hard, isn't it, when people start asking questions about yourself?
But do you know what though? It goes to show, like, even if you're coming across people, you're coming across companies, and you're not thinking, oh, I want to go for a job with them or whatever.
Yeah.
It just goes to show how just being a genuine, nice person who shows an interest, like how far that can go, because you never know what's going to get offered to you.
You have to surround yourself with good people. Like that's been my focus for years and years and years.
Yeah.
I've always been able to identify my instincts aren't happy with you.
Yeah.
So I'll just take a step back. But completely, like, dive in with good people. Our world needs good people. We all need.
We don't have enough of them.
We all need to collaborate with fellow good people and all help to be there to support each other, whether that's in life or whether that's for work. It's so important.
It's good advice that I think everyone should really take on, that in particular. So looking back then at your career, obviously I can still see you going, moving mountains in whatever you're doing. But what was a defining leadership moment for you? One that you think has shaped your career to what it has been?
Caring about people. That's such an easy question.
Yeah.
Because there's one thing about having, you know exactly what to do based as per your job description. Like, this is my role, these are my responsibilities. But then when you add people into the mix, we're all different, aren't we? We've all got different needs, we've all got different goals, we've all got different values of what makes us us. We're all unique. So leadership, it's not a job. If you are in a leadership position, you are in a privileged, dutiful position. It's not a job. And it has to be part of your heart, and you have to care about what you're doing. You have to care about the people who you're working with, who you're advising. You know, you have a big responsibility if you're a leader, because people are looking up.
Yeah.
So you have to set an example. You know, I was mindful about what clothes I was wearing. It got to that point where I was like, I feel this weight of responsibility, not in a bad way, like I'm honoured to do it, and I don't take for a second this privileged position that I'm in.
Yeah.
I need to lead with purpose, and I need to lead by example. So you have to do it for the people. You know, you have to look after the people first. Yes, you have to keep the mission and, you know, the vision that you've got going on. But leadership isn't just within the four walls of the office.
Yeah.
It isn't. It comes down to parenting.
Yeah.
And it comes down to how you speak to somebody in your local shop. You know, I am mindful of everything that I do in front of my children. So I've got my own boys and I've got 2 stepsons.
Yeah.
So as a thriving, noisy household, there's 6 of us plus a dog.
Yeah. Oh God.
Plus a turtle and plus 2 fish.
There we go.
So it's a duty. You know, I am here because I have to teach what is coming after me. How you speak to someone in the shop, how you speak to somebody who's just passing you in the street, how you speak to everybody. You are leading
It's
by
everything.
example.
Yeah.
You know, it is not confined to the workplace.
Yeah.
And it has to be fluid and authentic from the moment that you get up in the morning. How you conduct yourself. And if your mindset is in, I am here to make a difference, I am here, whatever it may be, you may not even figure it out yet,
Yeah.
but if you just start with, I am a decent human being and I want to spread good, that is a great starting point for leadership.
And, you know, like what you said, it does go way beyond the workplace, and I think a lot of people put it down to, how am I a leader at work?
Yeah.
You know, but it's everything. It's how you present yourself, it's how you come across in every scenario.
Yeah.
But it has a lot to do with your mindset as well.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy to have a strong, resilient mindset.
Yeah.
But have you ever been in a time where you have struggled and you have had that imposter syndrome kick in?
Massively so. The last 3 months. Recently.
Yeah.
And I have never experienced it before. It is the most bizarre, dark place. Like if you allow it to
Is that a feeling of maybe not like belonging, or maybe more of like a, you know, like how am I in this position, or what am I doing?
Yeah.
What is that feeling?
The driver of my imposter episode, it's not a syndrome. I know it's been labelled as a syndrome, but syndrome would...
That's more of an ongoing thing, I think, whereas it can come...
Yes,
it would scare you.
Lead you down a path where you're thinking, right, this is indefinite now. It's a syndrome, it's with me forever.
Yeah.
It isn't, it's an imposter episode, it's a blip in your history. So the core of what triggered my little spat, if you like, was a combination of, is what I'm doing enough? You know, because I've got a lot of impact and I want to evoke change. I want to help people, but am I helping enough people? Am I doing enough to evoke this change? And the goals that I'd set for myself hadn't been met. Some of them had been.
Yeah.
You know, I had a fantastic year last year, so I needed to give myself a break, really.
Yeah.
But my own personal goals that I've got that are, you know, personal within the 4 walls of my home,
Yeah.
they haven't been achieved. And at the moment, I'm thinking, oh my God, it's not going to be achieved. So you speak to yourself in such a harsh way, and you don't relent on those harsh words.
Yeah.
And when you don't confide in somebody, and when you don't vocalise what it is that's going on, you know, in the depths of your mind, oh, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And that, I always used to talk about it, you know, when I was going through my divorce and like all the court chaos years ago.
Yeah.
It's like being stuck down a well. So if you imagine the darkness of the depths of a well, and you're looking up and you can see just this tiny, tiny flicker of light. So you know that there's light at the end of the tunnel that people talk about. But when you're at those depths of despair, you know, an episode, whatever, that well, you don't have a ladder.
Yeah.
So you're just thinking, oh my God, I'm stuck down here. There's light there. How the hell am I going to get from down here to up there? But to build yourself back up, more kindness to yourself. You have to speak to yourself as if you've got your best friend or a relative or, you know, an associate whom you care greatly about, who comes to you saying, I need help.
Yeah.
So how you would speak to them to help them is how you need to speak to yourself. But to have that charge within you, that grit and that perseverance, it's really hard, like, to get it going. But once you've started the momentum, and once you've found that, okay, I am being kinder to myself, let's reflect on what the wins have been, and let's just celebrate those a little bit more, because you know, there have been wins along the way. You have to keep building that momentum. People keep talking about this 1%. 1% better every day. So if you break it down into bite-sized chunks, then it starts to feel more achievable. I think from my own experience and speaking to, you know, students and to clients, they go, this is the problem. This is where I need to be, and they're tossing between just the 2 points. So it's points A and B. We're not looking at the practical steps that can be done and that need to be done to actually get us and to build that road to get from point A to B.
And that can sometimes feel a million miles off,
so
you
overwhelming.
know. But you are right, as in talking kinder to yourself, because lots of people say, you know, if you are feeling that way, to go and speak to somebody, and it is always better to go and speak to somebody. My therapist said to me, when you're feeling like this, and when you're feeling like you're talking horribly to yourself, which I've definitely done as well, is to find a photo of you as a child and try and talk like that to that picture of yourself as
That's really powerful.
Yeah, she says, because you can't do it. There's no way that you could find a picture of you as a little girl and talk that horribly to her. And that's still you, you know. So that's something.
So true. That is.
And that's something she said to me, which I thought, oh, I can't do that. I can't, you know. And it is coming back to just being kind to yourself and to giving yourself that break and to be like, do you know what? No, I have worked really hard, but we are always our worst.
And we
enemies,
compare,
you know?
we compare ourselves, don't we? I mean, like, you look at somebody else who's either in the same space that you're in, or in a very similar field, or, you know, you may even aspire to be in that space, and you're like, they're doing it. Why the hell is it not working for me? So you just have to just give yourself a break, and just because it's not working now, if you finish those statements or those thoughts with the word "yet" at the end, it's not happening yet, or it hasn't worked yet. That introduces kindness as well, because we can't build Rome in a day, as people say. You can't build a business in a week and turn over 6 figures, you know, in a week. It's just that, you know, the people that happens to, they're very well connected. Their network is vast. They've got a solid product that's been tested. You've got people in the hamster wheel behind the scenes. They don't shout about it. So we put ourselves in these boxes where we start comparing ourselves to others, and it hurts, that sense of feeling overwhelmed and like, oh, why not me? Why is it not my turn? Just give yourself a break. It's not your turn yet. You're still building.
Absolutely.
You know, it's still something that it's all part of the process, and everybody's had to go through it as well.
So going back to that point of, you know, feeling a little bit stuck and a little bit, oh, you know, I feel like I need to give myself a break, but I don't want to give myself a break. I want to keep working. If someone came to you and said that they felt stuck in their career and unsure of what that next step should be, what would you say to them? What would be your first bit of advice?
It's a bit controversial, but I'll use an example that I used with a client a few years ago. I mean, like, completely lost. I don't know what my path is. You know, I've got these goals, but I just don't know how to get there. So I took her to a cemetery.
Oh, okay.
It's like really like, whoa, what the hell's going on? Didn't tell her, just picked her up. And in my car, I've got a picnic blanket, which is now the cemetery blanket, and it also doubles up as the kids' picnic blanket if we go out. I took her to a cemetery, and I got her to lie down on the picnic blanket next to someone's grave. So it was really like, oh my God, like powerful, impactful, completely stunned. This is intimidating. Why have you brought me here?
What are you going to do to me, Charlotte?
Just to lie down, and I said, just close your eyes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is where we all end up.
Mm.
But I want you to visualise and think word for word what you want somebody to say as your eulogy when you're no longer here. What is the lasting thing that you want somebody to say about you? What do you want to be remembered for? What's the impact? What's your purpose? And she sat there and she cried. I cried as well. And then, but after that session, she was like, I know what I want people to say about me, and I know what that looks like.
Yeah.
Don't know how to get there because that's still like a big gap. And I'm like, right, okay, this is good because you've got the end point. Now we can work on reverse engineering.
Yeah.
So even if that's down to, I want to start this particular business, or I know that I want to move myself into this particular career, we can now work together and reverse engineer it and look at the practical steps in bite-sized chunks so you don't feel overwhelmed by what that path actually looks like. And what you're doing there is you're formulating a plan. The plans change. Plans, they have to be, they can't just be solid. You know, you have to be able to have a bit of wiggle room. But at least you've got a plan, at least you've got a starting point, and just seeing something where you've done the work on the clarity piece, you know exactly what you want from the end point. You might not know every single little particular, but you know what you want to be remembered for, and you know what you want your legacy to be. It's in digestible chunks then, and
That's
it's like
so mad.
people can breathe.
As if you took her to a cemetery. That is, but it's true though, isn't it? Because I think if you are in that place where you are thinking, I just don't know what I am meant to be doing. My partner is very similar at the moment in a state of, I just am not happy in what I'm doing. I just don't know what I want to do. Maybe I should take him to a cemetery.
Do it. Do it and just see what happens.
This is what we're doing today.
Do it and see what happens. I mean, it's shocking. I mean, it's palpable.
No, and it is quite deep, but it probably does open up that, you know, why would you ever think that on a daily? You wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? So it would get you to think, oh my gosh, you know, this is where we're going to end up. So it gets you to think kind of outside the box of daily life, doesn't it? But let's talk a little bit about building an influence and personal branding. So I want to talk about your TED Talk. I want to talk about your podcast. Your TED Talk was at Aston University September last year. It was called How the Power of Truth Can Change Your Life. And you said you want to champion the power of truth so that you can be an honest leader for yourself and for others. So why was it that you chose to talk about that in particular?
Well, the whole concept of that talk was really important because I wanted to honour my grandfather. He's no longer with us. He died, you know, over 10 years ago now. And he always used to say to all of us, never be afraid of what the truth is. And there are so many different pockets or chapters in my life where I've been like, oh God, like whether it's something's come to a head or whether there's like an internalised thought or feeling about something. And there's always been just that little thing in my head, never be afraid of what the truth is. Because if there is truth, you can do something with it. You know, there's a lot of like ifs, buts, maybes that happens in the world. If you've got the truth on something, there's something there that you can act on. So the reason why I put that together was I wanted to give people a tool of what to do with truth. So truth is something that can be heard, felt, or said yourself. But then what do you do with it? So you can either reflect on it and you can accept it for what it is, learn from it, it's done. Or you can transform. So you've learned a truth, you've heard a truth, you've felt a truth. You know, I'm not where I should be, you know, or I'm not happy somewhere. That gives you an outcome then to transform. It's an opportunity for growth. And then the third one was to survive. So you know you've realised that the truth is that you're not safe in something or you need help. That's where the survival outcomes comes into play. And I wanted to spread a message to people that you know the truth is what it is. the truth is personal to you. It may not be the same for somebody else because, you know, I delved into perspectives of truth. So you've got your own truth, and then you've got the truth of what, you know, the actual thing is. And to try and evoke a little bit more awareness and empathy, and to champion people that you know, you've got a real superpower there. If you lead with truth, there's not much else you can argue with. So, you know, just get into feeling more confident with it, because there's so many things that happen in our lives that you're like, I hope that isn't the case. Or, I've just found that out. What do I do with it? So there was a big push on it being a compass as well, because it is what it is.
And it's powerful that you chose to speak about that, really, with it being a TED Talk, because it's something that, you know, everyone kind of needs to acknowledge in their life, and it's not just, you know, you didn't make it this like corporate thing. No, you know, it was very inspiring to lots of people. Did you have a good reaction from the TED Talk?
I did. I mean, what an experience that was.
Yeah, was that a bit of a pinch me moment to be asked to do that?
It was, and I've had quite a few people that have asked me about it now, and I always talk about the people that are behind the scenes. There is an army of people behind putting together a TEDx event, and they were all wonderful in their own unique, wonderful way, and they don't get the recognition I don't think that they deserve, because that they work so hard behind the scenes. But you're immersed in an environment where everybody wants you to win. Like, you're all working towards the same goal of impact. You know, you're wanting to evoke change and spark conversations with people. But for you to be a speaker out on that stage, you're just like, oh my God, this is big. Like, this is not something that you should take for granted. This is, if you've got something to say, make sure that it's going to be of some use to people. And there's a part in the talk that talks about if you're somebody who's got a passive nature, whatever reason that may be, you know, it could be something quite sinister's happened in your life, or your upbringing, so you're passive to try and just, I just want to be safe, just, okay, I'll appease, just leave me alone. But the knock-on effect with that is it compounds frustration and resentment. So you need to work on that, and it's a long, big piece of work, but it's absolutely relevant and vital that you do, where you can form more into an assertive state. So you can have conversations with people to say, right, I acknowledge what you're saying, I hear exactly what you're saying. However, for me, this is what the reality is, or this is what works for me. And for you to have more of a confidence in and conviction in what you're saying, instead of just like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. It's dangerous. We can't survive as human beings by feeling that we're being downtrodden or like any compounded frustration. Just get it out. Just get it out. Work on the tone and the delivery, because, you know, if you've got something to say, make sure it comes out in the most effective way possible. Don't want to be a tyrant, for God's sake. But it's because I've come from a passive place. And the damage that it does, you hold yourself back, and it's not healthy. It's not good. I don't want it for anybody. You know, I've lived and breathed that way of life. You don't win. You don't win.
And well, even in the TED Talk, like, you came across brilliantly, and it was a really good. I mean, we were watching it earlier as well. Very, really good TED Talk, and anyone should go and watch it. That platform has got thousands and thousands of followers, maybe even millions.
That's millions now.
Millions. And I think your video's got about, is it nearly 40k views, something like that?
God, no, it's not that many, not yet.
Are you sure? It might be.
If it is, I'll be like, whoa.
We'll have to double check.
Like celebratory win, but it gained quite a lot of traction. When it first launched.
And how was that for you to deliver that at Aston? Seems as that you have some work there with the students.
It was great. It was like being at home. I mean, at the stage at Millennium Point, I mean, I was just like, okay, again, I'm not going to take this for granted. You know, this for this particular chapter in my life, this is my calling. I'm meant to take this seriously. And, oh God, it was a proper pinch me moment.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Lots of people will be watching, you know, the aspiring young leaders and the aspiring leaders in the workplace. To be asked to do a TED Talk is probably on a lot of people's list. How did you find yourself being gifted that opportunity, you know, to talk for them?
What? How did I get there?
Yeah, how did you get asked to go and do a talk?
Well, I applied for 2 events.
Okay.
Failed and didn't pass the first one. So again, you know, it's worth bringing this up.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Persevere. Yeah.
Just because you've got one no doesn't mean it's indefinite no elsewhere. So it's fine. So I applied for the Wolverhampton event, which was like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And the Aston University application was accepted, and then the team there, they have a process where you have to go through a shortlisted round. So if you get shortlisted, then it's not like you haven't quite reached it just yet. You have to go through a round of sending in a 3-minute video where you have to kind of get into like the speaker's realm.
Oh, like a bit of an audition tape.
Kind of, yeah. Which I hate cameras like this. Is just like, oh my God. Oh, don't look at me.
No, but it's crazy, isn't it? Because a lot of people who, you know, maybe are good at public speaking don't actually like the whole camera side of stuff.
Oh God, it's totally like spotlight city, like Jesus Christ. But I accepted last year. Look, this is a fear of mine. My eye's twitching now because it's like, oh, you're so nervous. Apparently, if you crack your little toe, that stops that. It's weird, yeah. If you've got like a twitchy eye, crack your toe and it'll solve it. But I'm not taking the boots off. I accepted very early on into 2024.
Yeah.
This is a fear that you've got, and it is. It's like, oh my God, that's so intimidating. It makes me want to vomit. But if you want to keep going, you have to deal with it. You have to get over it. You have to find peace and acceptance of, if this is what you want to do, just get over it.
You would never think it though. You're a really, really good talker, you know. And no, but honestly, I've spoken to lots of different people, and some people just don't even. It's just not within them to, you know, withhold great conversation.
Yeah.
You know, and you sat there thinking, oh, I don't know what to keep saying, you know. But just from being, this is the first time I've met you, and I feel like we could carry on for ages, you know.
Get on the pitch.
So let's go for a drink after. Let's go for a bottomless brunch. But you know, to say that you're a little bit nervous of that, and there's a fear there.
I am totally aware of body like my legs. I don't know if the camera can see it, but my legs.
But you would never tell.
My legs are crossed. I feel like I'm hanging on for dear life.
You would never tell, but it's great that you've acknowledged that there because, you know, again, lots of people watching. Some people it comes very naturally, you know. I could yap anyone's head off, but lots of people would be thinking, oh my God, the thought of being asked to go on a podcast and talk.
Yeah.
You know, and you've been great.
Well, if it helps anybody, you know, I'm faking it till I make it. Like
that is my motto, Charlotte. I say this to everyone: fake it till you make it.
Having a conversation with somebody, because I love speaking to people. Like this is my comfort zone. I like having conversations that aren't scripted, and we can just be real. We can just tell the truth, be real. Yeah. But guys, I'm dying inside.
No, you would never know.
Dying inside.
You would never know. You love it that much. You've now got your own podcast.
Oh yeah.
So tell us about this.
Critical, isn't it? Really.
The Thriving Startup Podcast.
Podcast. I mean, what a passion project that is. I've recorded 9 episodes so far.
Yeah.
The recording of our conversation, our podcast now. There's 2 that have aired. So I'm working hard behind the scenes, just editing and getting all that sorted. Yeah. But again, it's a platform for conversations. I ignore the camera because the camera is on us. But I want to help people en masse. Yeah. And whatever help that may be it just be a comment from either myself or from one of the guests that's on the show of if you do this, or if you know can channel yourself to think like this, and they're like, oh, that's a mini eureka moment for me. Thank you so much. Yeah. I've done my bit. Yeah. So to help people and to find another platform to go on and to just share your message you know, ignite your vision.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Podcasting, just from 2024, which is when I started to reach out to people like, you know, such as yourselves, like, hello, I hate cameras, but can I be on the show, please?
No, but it's great because, you know, this very much started of me just reaching out to people who do I think would be good to be on here. And, you know, it's always great to expand your network, but it got to a point where I was thinking, oh, actually quite a few people reaching out now, you know. So we do have a big backlog of episodes stored now. It's just a case of getting them out. But it's great to do a podcast, especially when you have got loads to kind of say to lots of different people, and it's great diving into people who you've never met. You know what I mean? We've sat here for I don't know how long, and I feel like I know your life story now. It's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? I'm the new Piers Morgan. Okay, so this round is the quick fire round, unlocking leadership potential. So 5 questions, try and answer the first thing that comes to your head.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds fun.
Ready? 1 habit that builds strong leadership skills.
Heart. Use your heart.
A book that changed the way you think about leadership.
It's called Your Oxygen Mask First by Kevin Lawrence. You have to get it. Anybody who's listening to this, Your Oxygen Mask First.
Your Oxygen
Mask First by Kevin Lawrence. You have to buy it.
Is it a bit of a life-changing?
It changed my life completely.
I love it. 1 mistake young leaders should avoid.
Being passive.
Being passive.
Yeah.
Best way to overcome fear or failure?
Accept it. It's part of us. We're human. We will fail. We will feel fear. Accept it and just keep building off it. It'll teach you all sorts of things.
And then finally, your personal mantra or your leadership motto?
My leadership motto, my mantra in business is start, grow and thrive.
Start, grow and thrive.
Start, grow and thrive. So that's like more business focused. Mantra for leadership. Lead with heart, and no one is coming to save you.
I love that, Charlotte. You've been such a lovely guest. And honestly, like I've said, to say I've never met you before, I feel like we could go out for a drink now. Yeah. But no, it's been lovely chatting to you. Where can people find you on LinkedIn?
Just search for
Charlotte Steele.
Yeah.
And if people maybe after this episode want to reach out to you for mentoring or anything like that, where can they reach you? LinkedIn's
the best place.
Yeah.
Just drop me a direct message, because hopefully, like when this show goes out, my community, my startup community, will be available, so people can just start networking and getting actual hands-on support, which is good.
Absolutely. And they can listen to your podcast, the Thriving Startup Podcast, which is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
So Spotify at the moment and YouTube.
Amazing.
But looking at doing Amazon Music and Apple Podcasts as well.
Amazing. So, well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, we'll go out for a drink soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks.